We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It is Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle in wrestling's goddamn punching bag. And how are you guys doing today? We got a hell of a stacked ass show for you. Really fun topics to talk about. Some turnarounds and some pretty explosive juices. But before we get into all of that great mumbo jumbo in the wrestling world, Don, take it away, boy. And P.S. Watching our intro, I really miss MJF's fucking mohawk, but we know that the fiber is real, just like the grind is real. Take it away, Donnie.
That's all everybody can talk about is MJF's new hair and his amazing tattoo.
The Rogaine, he has joined the Rogaine Club. Let's go.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But this week's episode is going to be a good one. We got lots of awesome topics that we're going to be talking about this week. We're also going to be putting over Mickie James, the first female wrestler that we're going to be putting over. We have lots of awesome topics that we're going to be diving into. So before we get into that, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this week's episode of the podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel, where you get the best pro wrestling content out there, which there's so many reactions this week, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers. We recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real.
Yeah. Wow, I was actually prepared for that.
I just want to say, what a long week it's been since the last podcast.
It feels like a lifetime ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. And I realistically was just going on this other fucking wave. So yeah, it's just been it feels like a lifetime.
It really does. Like, Memorial Weekend just happened, and I pretty much spent my entire weekend doing pro wrestling content. So I do want to give a shout out to all the maniacs that did join us on the live watch-alongs for King and Queen of the Ring, and also AEW Double or Nothing, which for the first time ever, we did a multi-stream both on the We Are Wrestling Facebook page and YouTube. So guys, I highly recommend you guys to go give us a follow over on Facebook, because the live watch-alongs are on there as well.
I couldn't believe how fucking booming it was. Like, Facebook and YouTube is like the thing, because my God, I was just like, wow, that is a lot of like things going on. It was so exciting. Sorry, dude, I'm sounding old.
Dude, it's crazy because like Man, we had 45 people at one point, which for us is like the most we get in a live watch along, like all at once.
Unless it's
which I
like
thought was
fucking like
crazy.
Mania or like Rumble. Rumble's usually like the peak of like our like viewership and a live stream, because Rumble is like it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas.
It's electrifying. That's the thing.
And it's so unpredictable.
And man, especially this week, AEW, they came in swinging at Double or Nothing, which we have a lot to talk about for the recaps. And even WWE, they did some crazy shit during NXT.
And then
I had to work double
Monday.
overtime, man, like for reactions, because I was sitting there doing my Raw reactions like I normally do on a Tuesday night, and then I get messages. Dude, I get messages blowing me up saying, dude, Jordan Grace is on friggin' NXT. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I got to do a reaction. Hell yeah.
Ethan Page was there.
Yep. And then as I go to upload Jordan Grace, I get a message from one of our maniacs. Shout out to Dan. And he said, dude, holy shit, Ethan Page is on NXT. I said, all right, I got to go watch it. I'm on it. Double overtime.
I'm saying, bro. And like, oh my God, it's just been an exciting week for wrestling. But the shows minus NXT, weirdly, who look at us who would have thought on a motherfucking random Tuesday? But the shows were mid. I hate the follow-up. I hated the follow-up for both shows. Like, you guys are right. At first, I was like, the fuck you guys talking about? Then I watched Raw, and I'm like, that's all I need to know.
Dude, Raw and Dynamite, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a fucing chore.
It had moments. But like the show itself was just like, what the fuck happened? Like they have fucking momentum, both companies. So
dude,
like, shame
the
on both of them.
PLEs,
What the fuck?
both PLEs over Memorial Weekend were so good. And like the weekly shows, they didn't do anything. I was surprised.
It's like, why are we getting filler now? Like, you should have had a good follow-up to both of your massive pay-per-views, which I kind of have to say, you're going to hear me say this once. I'm going to say it. We're going to move on. We're not going to make it a moment, but Double or Nothing definitely outperformed fucking King and Queen of the Ring. I'll say it, but that's it. And we're moving on. We're moving on, Donnie. We're moving on. We're moving on, Donnie. Yes, you heard me say it. You can replay this clip.
Can you
say
it one more time and I won't bother you about it?
Oh my God.
I feel like your connection went in and out.
All right. So I'll give you your moment after this, and then we don't speak of this again because you'll have this.
All right, here's a handshake. We'll handshake it.
Okay. All right. Shake it through the screen. Okay. Double or Nothing outperformed King and Queen of the Ring. I said it.
Oh, okay. That was nice. That was so nice.
Tony Khan is going to be sharing this on Twitter everywhere. I'm telling you. Twitter's going to blow up.
So besides everything that's been going on in the wrestling world, how's your week been?
It's been fucking strange. The last 2 weeks have been fucking strange. And I didn't ask for any of it, but what the fuck, man? Like, I last week we were talking, I had seen Callboy, that band, that I got invited to last minute, and that was one of the bands that like put my channel on the map, right? So that was a movie in itself. So the day after the podcast we record on Thursdays, by the way, for our podcast, for all the viewers listening. We were recording Thursday, and then the next day I get fucking invited to Sleep Token, which is a huge band. That is the band that put all of my shit out there.
That took your channel off, right?
It did. That is like the band that I'm known for. I got noticed quite a bit at the Sleep Token concert, which is weird. And if, We Are Wrestling was, technically We Are Wrestling, I guess you could say, is very 420 friendly because, The Godfather, RVD, and, us, so it's a canon event. I was getting joins passed to me left and right at the show. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So that happens. And then the day after I get back to the concert, Better Noise Music, a fucking record label that I love. Papa Roach is on that label. Fucking Nothing More is on that label. Ashes to New is on that label. Hit me up about making content and reactions with for those bands and shit, and then was like, hey, if a band ever comes to your area that you want concert tickets to, just hit us up. I'm like,
hey.
So I got a concert hookup now, and I'm like, through a music label that I've loved for such a long fucking time, and now I have other obligations that I told you guys in the group chat that I'm not going to spill out here yet. But what the fuck is happening? And
Big
I'm
things
just
are coming.
sitting here. I have just been sitting here. I've literally just been sitting here with you guys. And then
yeah, you pretty much
off.
the only thing you've been really doing, because you have been taking a break from your content. So
Yeah,
I see, like, now, and I think that's just giving you a message that you need to get back on that grind, man.
yeah, I do. It's very odd, and
It's
I
strange,
don't know
like, what can happen, like, just being a content creator, man. Like, just opportunities, they just come, and I get people that recognize me from sometimes not even We Are Wrestling, just for my toy channel. People will see me and they'll want a photo, they'll want to talk to me. And then We Are Wrestling, obviously, at conventions and stuff, we always get recognized as well. It's very strange. Like, it's weird to, like, do adjust, but I'm happy to see that, like, you're getting noticed, especially at, like, Sleep Token concert. That's fucking awesome.
The craziest thing, and I'll end off my highlight of the week and how my week has been with this. The Sleep Token concert has to be like the highlight of my YouTube career, like on my personal channel, for one reason. It was a little bit of everything. I got recognized a little bit. I took pictures with people. I got drinks bought for me, and I got joints passed to me in front of security, and they did not give a fuck. The bar was right behind me. The person that had purchased my ticket, bought a ticket for his fiance, couldn't go, and the first person he hit up was me because he saw me at the Callboy concert and didn't know it was me, didn't recognize it, regretted not seeing me, and invited me to the show. And he works, ironically enough, not only does this bleed into my YouTube shit, it bleeds into my music shit, but also bleeds into my film shit because he's worked on The Walking Dead, he's worked on Dexter, he's worked on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and various other things. He just got done doing Beetlejuice 2. So it's like it bleeds into my film world too. So I'm like, dude, it was like a canon event in my life that I'm never gonna forget. So I think this week has been like the ultimate, I guess you could say, if I had a dream that what opportunities would bless me as a content creator, Friday night was it.
Last Friday, he's talking about.
Last Friday night. That is going to be officially my theme song now. I don't care. I hate that fucking song, but that's my theme song now. Last Friday night.
Oh, God, dude. That's like, I think that was like one of the last songs. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, because I used to love listening to the radio. And then I think when that song played, that was like towards the end where I finally recognized like Apple Music, Spotify. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm done with the fucking radio. I'm sick of hearing the same shit.
You get particular about it, man, once you find a niche. But how was your week, son?
I gotta say, man, Memorial Weekend, besides doing, like, it was great doing the live watch-alongs. I wish I did spend more time with the family during the long weekend, but besides that, it was good to have that extra break as well. I feel like I've been kind of taking a break from the toy content. I haven't really been posting as much consistently because I've been on the grind with We Are Wrestling, and you got to find that adjustment with real life and content. So I've been kind of taking the time to just reset my battery a little bit and just come back stronger, swinging. So it's been honestly really relaxing. That's what I got to say.
That is so important. Especially when it comes to content creating, is always taking that, that step away from a little bit, touching some grass, breathing in the fresh air, talking to people that you love. It's always a good way to reset your focus and, get excited about what you do again and, look forward to the things that are coming. So it's a very, very key part. So to all of you content creators out there that might be watching this, be sure to put down the fucking mouse, turn off the screen for a little bit, go outside and reconnect with life itself. It's beautiful out there and it's really good for your mental. And then you come back and you kick ass even more. So I just want to put that out there.
In the New England area, it's beautiful, but the pollen is fucking annoying. Just want to say
My brother must be dying right now, dude. Spring allergies are horrible for that, dude. I don't get really hit in the spring. I get hit in the fucking winter, which sucks. Which sucks so bad because I'm cold and I got allergies and I got a headache. I'm pissed and now it's everyone's problem.
It's my problem. I got to deal with you once a week. So we do this new thing every Thursday. To all the maniacs out there that aren't subscribed to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, highly recommend subscribing, because we do this thing called The
power
power of the poll.
Dude,
And
can I do voiceovers for these and then just play them whenever we introduce them?
We need to.
Can I
like
please? I will send you every clip. Be like, the power. No, like fucking SpongeBob. The hall monitor.
I'd love that.
But
man, so with the power of the poll, every Thursday we post a new poll. So we give the Maniacs 1 week exactly to vote, which last week for the power of the poll, we asked you guys, do you like a baby face better or a heel better? And we did get over 100 votes. So do want to thank all the Maniacs who are voting on these to make the segment possible. And here are the results. Drum roll, please. And there it is.
Yeah,
so 74% of you guys think that heels are better than baby faces, and the baby faces 26%.
And that is just a fact of life. Yeah.
So Ben, do you prefer the baby faces or the heels?
Oh, heels all fucking day, man. They got the personalities. They ain't the goody two shoes. They don't take the most losses. They make things exciting. The lying, the cheating, the stealing. The fucking gold mine of professional wrestlers were built on the foundations of some of our greatest heels, my friends. So honestly, I'm not surprised by the results. Let's get real, man. Faces are great. It is harder to make a face. I will say that. But the greatest characters we have ever known, their best work was when they were a heel. So, no, heels all day.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the heels over the faces. I do give credit to the wrestlers that are baby faces because I feel like,
and that can genuinely pull it off.
Especially in like today's generation, I feel like it's so much harder to be a baby face than a heel. Because I feel like being an asshole is so easy. Because I feel like we're all assholes deep down inside. So, like, I feel that sounded so wrong. I feel like we're all assholes at the end of the day. So, like, it's easier to be an asshole than be a nice guy. So,
yeah.
So, it's pretty much easier to be a heel than a face.
I mean, all I got to say is Roman Reigns. That's it. That's it.
Exactly. And I feel like there's just so much more you can do being an asshole than being a nice guy. And I think for me, like I've always enjoyed the heels because just the reactions like they get, like a guy like Christian Cage talking about like dead fathers, like you just see the crowd just go, and then MJF pretty much, just coming, especially MJF meet and greets, man.
Dog. Don't call MJF ever a heel or a babyface because that dude is the only superstar I feel like in history other than Stone Cold that has never had to change up his gimmick to jump babyface or heel. So
that's the best part about him.
That dude is a pinnacle. That dude's just a pinnacle because he doesn't have to switch anything. Like his promo when he came back at Double or Nothing was the greatest shit I had ever seen in my entire.
We're going to be getting into that.
But my God.
But the thing is, I will say about this, I love the graphic here because you have MJF flipping off a little kid, and then you have John Cena making a kid's day. That right there represents heels and faces, which, man.
And both are like the greatest love superstars of all time, but they're like polar opposites on what they do. Could you imagine MJF for a Make-A-Wish?
I feel like I'd probably be like the only person that would want that. And MJF probably would say, go die.
I'm
MJ,
like
I wonder if
traumatizing myself.
No, I actually, dude, I'm thinking about it right now. Like, if somebody had to make a wish, right, and they chose MJF, because obviously, like with his meet and greet experiences, he stays in character. But would he stay in character, you think, for somebody that doesn't make a wish?
Yeah, because if they want MJF, they're gonna get MJF. So I feel bad for that kid at St. Jude. So I feel very bad. Especially the ones in the big C word ward. Like I don't put
Oh.
MJF anywhere near that. Do not, because he will not snap out of character. I don't see him being the type. Like I feel like he would say some fucked up shit with the doors open, then he would close the doors and be like, "Listen, buddy, I didn't mean any of that." Like he would have to like.
No, he would do.
install
No,
right
he would
after.
say he would say I didn't mean any of that, buddy. Like in front of everybody, and then when he closes the doors,
He'd be like,
fuck
"Yeah, the
you. I
fuck
hope
did."
you die. But man, so
That
I
funeral
think
would be paid for though right after.
so. You and I, we both agree with the people.
Oh yeah, no contest when it comes to
Heels are way better than faces. Which guys, next week's vote that you guys can go to the We Are Wrestling community tab over on the YouTube page. We're going to be asking you which Hulk Hogan is better, babyface Hogan or Hollywood Hogan, because we know how iconic both characters were for Hogan.
Put real American Hogan though instead
Real
of
American Hogan,
real
or
American
Hollywood
Hogan,
Hogan.
or Hollywood Hogan. Yeah.
And you guys will find out the results next week on the power of the poll. So now, Ben, what is your highlight of the week when it comes to pro wrestling?
Honestly, this is gonna kind of come as a shocker. I'm gonna say Ethan Page. I'm gonna say Ethan Page's debut in NXT. I think that was really exciting. That was kind of a nice little who the fuck is this guy? Because like I've heard of Ethan Page, I've kind of heard you talking about him, how big of a fan you are, and how you'd met him recently at the Hideout. So I was already kind of like familiar, but seeing him work against Trick for that quick little segment and then getting right on the fucking mic, like he looked very comfortable and he looked very excited. And there's nothing better than a wrestler that just jumped ship to another company and feeling that radiation of excitement through the screen and in the arena. There's no better feeling than that, knowing that the future is bright and that it's really fun to get excited for what's coming. And Ethan Page sold that. And then
I can't wait to hear like your entire thoughts on it when we get to the weekly recap. But I really like that for you for a highlight of the week. I've been telling you to check out Ethan Page, so I'm excited to really get into full details when we get there. So
hell yeah, bro.
My highlight of the week, I'm going to have to go with, and there's a lot of awesome things that happened. Obviously, I marked the fuck out when MJF came back, and Ricky was just letting me have my moment, which I appreciate you, Ricky, for allowing me to have that moment. But my favorite highlight of the week has got to be Anarchy in the Arena. I really enjoyed the main event for Double or Nothing.
Let's be honest, you just wanted to see Jungle Bitch get lit on fire. Shut up.
Everything in that match was fucking amazing.
Yeah, seeing him hang upside down was nuts.
Yeah, having Darby with the flamethrower. Actually, like this was legit too. This was not fake fire. So the fact that they were able to do that, I thought was so cool. Explosive chairs. They went all over the arena. At first, they were like playing Darby's music. Then the EVPs got sick of Darby's music.
Final Countdown was playing right? At some point?
Yeah, we're going to get into that. That. So then the Young Bucks, they're sick of hearing Darby's music, so then they want their horrible theme song to play. So they're just beating each other up while the Young Bucks music is on. And then Bryan Danielson says, cut that shit! And he says, let's play the best freaking theme song in all of pro wrestling. Final Countdown comes on. Everybody fucking wakes up at that moment because it was a very long pay-per-view, which was my only critique about it. But man, everybody woke up singing Final Countdown. Darby hits the coffin drop when the words Final Countdown hit. Man, you had people fucking hitting beach balls. And for me, obviously, like, I love AEW. I love WWE. I love all of pro wrestling. I'm not like a part of the whole tribalism thing. And seeing that clip that AEW posted over on their social medias of the whole Final Countdown, them beating the shit out of each other all over the place. I think about the WWE tribalism fans that all they do is hate on AEW. And I ask myself, you're telling me you wouldn't want to be there for that because it looked fucking fun. Like, it looked like everybody in that place had such a good time. And that's like what pro wrestling is all about, is having a good time. And I just don't understand why people are still continuing to hate on AEW. I can understand like some elements like Tony Khan and, some other people like Jericho, and everybody has their reasons, but AEW, I think being around is best just for pro wrestling as a whole. And just seeing what happened to Anarchy in the arena, man, I loved it. That's why I am a wrestling fan, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun.
So my last honorable mention for highlight of the week was definitely Jordan Gray showing up in NXT. That's because it's for the NXT title. So what if she wins? What if she wins? There's always a what if, because at this point,
possible.
Dude,
Especially after Shawn Michaels changed his profile picture to him with the hat.
I have said this since then, and I've said this on the channel many times. Ever since 2021, I'm willing to believe anything.
Anything can happen.
We are in the land of disbelief now. So I will embrace that.
And that's the thing that just makes pro wrestling so much fun, because not only is AEW doing the Forbidden Door thing with New Japan and CMLL and AAA, WWE now is also doing it with friggin' TNA, which is awesome. And I can't wait to talk about that. So with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast episode 110.
Yeah.
Starting things off with our first We Are Wrestling weekly recap at AEW Double or Nothing. MJF made his AEW return. What were your thoughts on the return?
Incredible. It was nice having that little pre-return vignette and having like a POV sequence of him like walking through his house and going to his room full of like, past trinkets. You saw the dog collar belt between him and CM Punk's match. You saw, fucking his suit with his typical little scarf.
Oh, can't forget the oxygen tank too from his match with Bryan Danielson.
Yep. And then, it ended with him pulling out the second half of that picture with Adam Cole. And obviously, lights turned back on and the music hit, and the devil himself had returned to our television screens, wearing the same Triple H garb from 2002's return. So
how do you feel about that? Because I
sweet.
see so many
Monster
people
pop.
talking shit about it.
I hate that he did it. And then, here's the thing. I love that he did it. But what ruined it when he said he didn't need a Vince McMahon, but there he is in his fucking son-in-law's garments. So I'm like, obviously you kind of did, buddy, which ruined it for me a little. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'll still bite. I'll let it go. I loved it. I love any kind of callback. I love any kind of nostalgia. I kind of hate in a way that Tony talks so much shit about WWE, but allows a lot of this WWE nostalgia to be thrown onto his shows. But at the same time, I love MJF, so I'm gonna fucking feed off of all of that charisma on the screen, all the angles, as he said on Sunday. Yeah, dude, it was a phenomenal return. It was a great way to kind of quickly get through the Adam Cole situation, have him come out, give him a hug, and the classic good old fucking MJF fucking cock-a-doodle kick to the dick. It was
doodle
really
dick kick.
Yeah, the cockadoodle dick kick. No more kangaroo kicks. The cockadoodle dick kicks now. Yeah, man. The promo was some of the best shit I have ever seen in pro wrestling, especially just the energy and the hype he gave, even just on the simple fucking moves. Like, oh, I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about hate. Even just that alone got the whole fucking crowd going. And our scumbag is back. I'm so happy. Is back.
It's been almost 6 months without my scumbag, and he's back.
I'm excited to see everything he has to do for this next run. He's at least locked into AEW for the next 3 years. 100%.
Definitely,
at least.
it's got to be 3 years.
If it's in after 3 years, then we're gonna see him in WWE. But right now, he has some unfinished things to take care of, and I think this last run is gonna be him tying his mighty bow on AEW. And I think the tattoo was kind of significant for his time there, because I think the other calf is gonna be taken by World Wrestling Entertainment. So
Yeah, because a lot of people,
excited.
Because that's the thing, a lot of people forget too. Like with MJF, he also does have a Create a Pro Wrestling tattoo, and it's all, I think, like things that mean a lot to him. That's what he gets tatted on. And I think with AEW, it is a special place because it did, give him the opportunity to go out there
AEW
and
built him.
literally bet on yourself.
Bro, AEW built him. Like, AEW is where his best work is. AEW
Well, he got
is
his
his
opportunity
WWE.
there.
Yeah, he got his opportunity and then became the biggest star they have, period. Like the biggest homegrown AEW has. Like, he is, when you think about AEW from the years to come, including after he is very well gone from the company, after years of him being gone,
Nobody's ever going to be on the level of the
being
devil.
chanted in WWE, you're going to be hearing fucking MJF chanted in AEW when he is very much so in WWE. You're going to still hear MJF.
And I think a lot of people also need to consider this from the business side of things with MJF. He is right now probably the highest paid AEW superstar. So obviously he's getting the bag, doing what he loves. And if you think about it right now, with all the momentum that WWE has, because of course, they are bringing in big names. They have right now, like, we're in a boom period. And I feel like MJF going to WWE right now in 2024, yes, it would be good for like maybe the first couple months, but then eventually he probably would have gotten lost in the shuffle. And I think due to how much talent they have over there. So I think for MJF
honestly,
to like wait 3 years, I think is a great business decision because AEW needs him. AEW needs the star power.
And that's the thing. WWE does not need him, and he does not need them. Like, right now, they're good. There is no room for MJF right now, and MJF has no room for them right now. And that's just business, and that's just how it is. They are striving where they're at right now. They are entering the era of MJF. They aren't ready for what MJF has to bring until they are well on Netflix, son. Once they are on Netflix, MJF will be able to drop all those F-bombs he wants because that the devil himself will be on Monday Night Raw.
And that's the thing, too. People do have to consider as well with MJF. Right now, like in AEW, they really need the star power. And I think MJF knows that. He knows WWE right now is in a boom period, and there's already a lot of guys that are transitioning from AEW to WWE. So he doesn't want to just follow everybody else. That's why I think him waiting 3 years is a great business decision.
Because here's the thing. If he went right now, he'd end up in NXT. He is main roster, main event material already. And he's not even fucking 30. And he needs to go straight to the main roster. And by that time,
they have to put a rocket ship on his fucking ass and send him right to the fucking moon.
And Triple H will. Triple H is an MJF fan. He is.
Everybody is, I feel like, in the business. And that's the thing, too.
Undertaker is. He's just like, if there's one
John
person
Cena is
that he
too.
could work. And then seeing that from Taker on social media, one person you could work with if you were still in your prime, MJF. Like, immediately, didn't even think about it.
Understands the business. And that's the thing. I always say it here on the podcast. Timing is everything. And I think right now is not the time. But I guarantee you, give it 3 to 5 years, they're going to need that star power. And I think MJF is going to go in there and he's going to be a main event star. He's going to be main eventing WrestleManias. I'm telling you.
When
and
you
I got
get
to watch
praise.
And the best part about all of this is I got to watch MJF when he first started in this business to see everything.
All right, so I'm not going to wait any longer. We need to keep the show going, so I'm not going to wait any longer, and I'm announcing who we are putting over next week for Getting Put Over, and it is Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, I'm wearing the scarf all next week's episode. Let's go.
Yep,
I love that.
We are putting over the devil himself, Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
I cannot wait to do
Yep.
that one.
I'm sorry, this conversation got too hype. We got to get the show going, bro.
Yes, we do.
This
All
shit
right,
got too
so
hype.
moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly recap at AEW Double or Nothing. Adam Copeland fractured his tibia, which will require surgery, and now the TNT Championship is stripped. So, what's your thoughts on what happened this past Sunday?
All right, buckle up, Buttercup, because I can't wait to flame one of my all-time, if not my favorite wrestler of all time. But my God, what the fuck were you thinking? His wife must have been fuming, my guy. Fuming. Why on fucking God's green earth would you jump off of a steel cage and land on your fucking feet? What is wrong with you? You already got a fucked up neck, son. You are asking to end your career. You are not WrestleMania 22 Edge. You are not WrestleMania fucking 17 Edge anymore, dog. Chill. Chill. Like, this is what's going to end his fucking career. Is that? Who would have thought that that was a good idea? Tony Khan should be goddamn ashamed of himself for even letting that happen. For even letting it happen.
But you see, I feel like you can't really blame the producers on this one. This was 100% Adam Copeland's fault.
But this is where you need to be a boss and just say, dude, if I would not do this, you should not do this. It's not like he's fucking in his 20s anymore, dog.
Okay, but when Kurt Angle was doing fucking moonsaults off a fucking cage in TNA at friggin' Adam's age.
Do you understand all of the things that were wrong in TNA in that era, Donnie?
Okay,
and everybody's drug problem in that era of TNA,
but
Donnie?
Accidents
and
happen.
Bad leadership in that time, Donnie?
But the thing is, accidents happen, and I think with Adam Copeland, Macho Man, believe it or not, Macho Man actually did the same exact thing in WCW back in 1998.
But
I think it was 97. And then he had to get surgery on his tibia.
No. Like, it's dumb shit like this, man. Like,
yeah, but you can't blame this is Adam Copeland who made the call.
I'm blaming two people and two people alone. That is all I'm blaming. One for having the dumb fucking idea and the want to do it and just eventually did it anyways, and the other one for allowing it. He is literally one of the most fragile superstars they have on the roster. A lot more could have gone worse. I am looking on behalf of his family, his girls, him. Like, this could have legitimately ended even horribly wrong compared to where it's at. He does not need to be doing those things to keep himself relevant and hot in the ring.
Oh, I agree.
That was the stupidest shit, and that's what I'm saying. That was the stupidest shit that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm just being real, man. Like, I'm not trying to be like belligerent. I'm just giving you like
I get the frustration because I know how much you do love Edge, and to see him make that decision and go out and do that,
and to the risk, like even just the risk factor, like you're out of your mind, bro. Like, fuck, you're out of your mind, especially with knowing how much you wanted this to come back in the first place, and you do this that can not only potentially end your run, end your career, but could have ended anything forward for your life with your family going forward. And had it gone even worse than it did, maybe even ended your life. So you're not at a right age anymore. There's all types of fucking work you've already got done, and one that put you on the shelf for 9 years. Why would you do it? That's what I'm trying to get at, you know?
Like, I feel like every steel cage match, like, always has that high spot, so I can't really blame Adam. I think it was just an honest mistake.
It shouldn't have gone to him. That's what I'm saying. If there needed to be a high spot.
But what I was going to say is, if you're going to do a high spot, you can't second guess yourself when you're, like, in the middle of the air, and that's what he did, because he was ready to do the landing, and then he got, like, nervous, and then he basically just landed on his feet. Like, you can't second guess yourself. If you're going to do high flying maneuvers, you have to just do it.
And how long has it been since we've seen Edge do a high spot such as that?
Well,
and how many times can you how many times can you rehearse something like that. That is not your typical high spot, bro. And it's not your typical splash. That is literally through a table, something he should not be fucking doing anymore because of the work he's had done and because
but
of
he's
his
had
age.
but he has done a lot of crazy things in AEW so far, jumping off of things, and this is like the first
And I've seen them.
mistake. Like, I think the cage, he probably shouldn't have done the cage.
And
like,
that's
I
what I'm
agree with you
saying.
on that.
That is what I'm getting at. Is just the cage.
And I feel bad for Adam because I know his TNT title run as an AEW viewer, because I think the people that say his fucking title run has been trash, his AEW run has been trash, are the ones that aren't watching AEW.
And I think his title run's been fine, but
no, but I'm saying like people that haven't. But what I'm trying to say is
IWC?
people that haven't watched AEW are out there saying, "Oh,
the casuals,
his freaking title run." Yep, the casuals. Oh, his run has been fucking trash. He should have never left WWE. This and that. Even though I think his run's been fantastic.
And I agree.
And that's why I'm kind of bummed out that this injury happened.
Exactly, and that is where I put Tony's blame. Why would you allow it to happen? I know you love Edge. I know you want to keep him happy. I know you want to keep his relevancy. I know you want to I know you want to trust him. But there is a line. He is not the same Edge that he was before. No matter what shape he's in, no matter how well he's doing prior to this match, it is still a structure he had no business being on top of and jumping off of. Especially if you could not physically rehearse it.
But if we're going to blame Tony Khan for Adam Copeland's injury, then hell, we might as well blame Vince McMahon for all the other injuries in WWE. We might as well blame Triple H for all the injuries.
But the circumstances are different, Donnie. He's at an advanced age and he's had career-ending injuries done on him. That is where the difference lies. And the fact he should have said no, and he should have said no before they even stopped. He should have been like,
but he's the one that made the call.
You know X, Y, and Z. You're the legend.
Because I guarantee if Adam Copeland said, "Oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't feel safe doing this," I'm sure Tony Khan would have been like, "Don't do it then. Like, I don't want you to get hurt."
Here's the thing. That's where I'm putting my blame on Edge, because I guarantee Edge pushed for it and Tony gave the fuck in.
But usually when it comes to matches, Ben, the thing is, you can't blame the bosses because they have producers backstage that are in charge of the matches. Because overall, with like the camera angles and all that, with the commentaries.
And who's their boss?
Like, okay, but here's the thing, though. Tony Khan and Triple H, during the PLEs, during the weekly shows, they sit in gorilla position. And they're basically the ones that are making the calls to the production trucks. They're the ones making the calls to the commentary team. And that's why they put a producer who's a former legend in this business in charge of the matches. And they're the ones that talk to the talent about the matches.
Yep. And who's it all finalized by?
But it's
not exactly. No, I can. That's what I'm saying. The circumstances is where it lies. If it's anybody else, even Jeff fucking Hardy, if it's anybody else, I'll understand.
I want to know who produced the match. If any of the Maniacs know who produced the match, let us know in the comment section below. Because I don't think like they really announce like who produces what. I know WWE does after the PLEs.
But I'm just backing up where I'm putting my blame, and I'm giving you as to why. It's all circumstantial. It's Edge specifically because of the things that has happened to him. This was a dumb fucking move on both of their parts, and that's all I'm saying. And I was just backing it up, you know. And it just, you got to
put the blame on Adam Copeland.
But and I put it on Tony because another thing is he was a champion. You need to protect him even more so because he's a champion. That's another reason. Circumstantial. So again, there's blame in two major points. There's two blames there. And that's why I'm upset about it, because it could have been prevented had you just given the high spot to somebody fucking else, the other person in the match.
Yeah, but who knows? Like, a lot of the times it's always the baby faces that usually jump off the cages. Like, I'm not trying to like it's unfortunate. I think we both can agree. We do wish Adam Copeland, Edge, a speedy recovery through this. And hopefully when he comes back, he doesn't do fucking elbow fucking drops off the top of a steel cage. God, I think we both can agree on that.
Fucking fuming. Beth must be fucking fuming.
All right, well, moving on now to the We Are Wrestling next topic for the recap. Monday Night Raw. Only one thing that was interesting on this show. Liv Morgan kissed Dirty Dom. Less than 12 hours after Raw, this clip has gained well over 30 million views across different social media platforms.
And you know, at least 15 million of those were Mommy's herself because of how pissed she was rewatching that shit and all the things she's thinking about doing to Dom Dom when she gets back.
So I gotta ask you, Ben, what's your thoughts on this angle so far?
Mommy, where's Dom Dom's title with Liv Morgan? What do I think about the situation? I love it. This is everything. Like I said, baby, we got the script. All right. We've been talking about this for a while. We got the script. It makes sense. I love the love angles when they make sense. And holy fuck, the Liv Morgan revenge tour has been on fire, dog. Fire. Like, and Dom out here just picking up dubs left and right.
That's
dude
what
got
I was gonna
married.
say, dude.
He's sitting with Rhea Ripley for like the last year and a half.
Now he got
to cheek up Liv Morgan. Like, what the fuck? Yo, what a life to be a Mysterio. What a life to be a Mysterio. I gotta say, my God, Dom must be loving it.
And he just got married to his high school sweetheart too. And he's making bank.
I just said that. Yeah, dude,
crazy.
This boy is living the dream right now, but it's also serving.
Let's not forget either the massive heat he gets too every week on Raw. The loudest boos.
His Hall of Fame career is going to be illustrious. Like, I genuinely can't wait to see this dude get inducted one day because holy shit, this dude is living La Vida Loca right now. But again, you know, I love it because it's really feeding into like a very personal Raw story. And, you know, we know the history between Liv and Rhea, you know, this is long-term storytelling at its finest. And to see it finally happening, like knowing it's going to happen, but then finally manifesting it. Like when Dom showed up at fucking King Queen of the Ring, dude. I lost my shit. I was like, yep, I knew it. I love it. I love it so much. And you know, it's serving that old school attitude era feeling again, you know, where it gets raw. We're getting a little spicy with it. We're seeing like the break of kayfabe here and there too, where it just adds to the feel, and you're just like, oh my God, like it's great TV again, dude. It's exciting. And Liv Morgan, holy shit, dude. Her time away was probably the best thing that has ever happened to her career because she has been killing it since she came back. I don't care if you hate Liv Morgan. I don't care if you think she's cringy on the mic. Fuck you. She is honestly killing it. And I gotta say, man,
like she's killing it as world champion. And right now is her
world
time.
Champion. Like back when she fucking beat Ronda Rousey, it felt so forced, but now it is so authentic, and I'm just like, ooh, Alex Johnson, I'm right there with you, but in a completely different way, buddy. In a completely different way, buddy. I'm salivating over the career accolades. You are completely salivating over something else, but Alex, man, it is your era, bro. We are in the Alex Johnson era, and
so usually Ben, when it comes to my reactions, you're gonna laugh at this one. So usually my reactions, like I upload it from like the start of the show to the end of the show, and obviously this happened at the end of the show. So I had 4 other reactions go up before this whole kissing scene, and every single comment, Alex Johnson says, "Can you react to the kissing scene? Can you react to the kissing scene?" Oh man. Hey, Alex Johnson, he's been on the Liv Morgan train from the beginning, so got to give a huge shout out to one of our day one maniacs there. But
oh my God,
I want to give my thoughts on this angle, and I am all for it. And I hope that they get even more edgier here, like maybe give us like a hotel scene, give us some more, give us some more, like because clearly people are invested in this. This
nothing
right
but
here,
Liv Morgan, Dom and his mustache.
This clip right here has literally over probably 100 million views as of right now. Recording,
dog. Nothing but Dom, Liv Morgan, a hotel room, and his pet fucking squirrel.
Not his pet squirrel.
The El Paso lasso, bro.
El Paso lasso. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Dude, Dirty Dom out here getting W's. I love this for so many reasons, but the only thing I don't understand is why is he trying to cost Liv and then this happens?
Because
Liv doing this to like try to ruin Dom's relationship with Rhea? Or is it because Dom likes her back and like they're actually
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. One, I think this is again, the Liv Morgan revenge tour. It's going to be taking everything that she loves, including Dom. And I think Dom is eventually going to drink the Kool-Aid. And I think that's what's going to break up and, kind of disband the Judgment Day one by one, because they're already teasing Finn and Damian. JD is going to be like up in the fucking air.
Dude, JD is caught talking to her too. Finn Balor got out of a car with her too. Everybody's trying to get a slice of Liv except for Damian, because Damian's actually focused on his world championship.
And Lana, but we'll talk about that for another time.
Good thing Miro's in AEW. No, wait, he hasn't even been on AEW since like World's End. Catering.
I know that fucking Lana's been on a WW, but
whoa, she's been all over
world champion material.
Yeah. But man, I am like, this is like one of the only things I'm actually invested in on Raw, and
yeah.
I hope they continue this, and I hope they continue to spice it up. I want some more momentum here, because I think Liv Morgan, like, this run, like, I'm more interested in her world title run than I am for Damian. Like, that segment on Raw this past Monday with Damian, Gunter, Drew, Braun, it was, like, fucking, like, all over the place. And it's like, how do you not have a plan after Damian cashes in the Money in the Bank? This is what I feared that was going to happen when he was world champion, because I obviously see the potential like you and everybody else, but it's like, what has he done since being a world champion? They had no plans, and just like Cody Rhodes, there's no plans, and it pisses me off. But now let's move on to an actual good show that happened this week. So with the We Are Wrestling Weekly recap, our next topic here at NXT. I'm going to have to start watching NXT, I think, over Raw. TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace made an appearance, and it was announced. And she was announced as Roxanne Perez's next opponent for NXT Battleground. What's your thoughts on WWE bringing in Jordynne Grace? And I guess for her 3 appearances coming up, she's getting paid 6 figures.
Damn, congratulations to the Juggernaut.
She gets to advertise TNA. She gets to wrestle for the women's championship on a PLE. Dude, she's fucking winning.
Doug, I'm telling you, you're looking at a future WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Like, she's inevitably going to be hopping over. I don't know when. Maybe when her contract runs out, but she's heading to the big leagues. I have never been so excited for the arrival of a female superstar in so long. Like, the legitimate, like, I am anticipating like the full-time debut, and I'm really, really excited for it. It's phenomenal. It's gonna sound fucked up because I really know nothing of NXT, but I'm not really a huge like fan of their current women's world champion. I don't think she really has it on the mic, and I've seen her in the ring. She's okay. Like, I'm not gonna say she's horrible, but I wish it was somebody else. But it is still a great way to put TNA over, and I'm really excited to see, what Jordynne can do in the long-term scope and what it might look like presented on a WWE screen. So I'm really, really stoked to see more than just, a few minutes in the ring and like a Rumble appearance, and being distracted by other things going on in the ring. I'm going to be excited to see her in a WWE ring with, a one-on-one kind of match. So I'm really excited.
Man, the more announcements happen for NXT Battleground, the more I think I'm actually going to watch it, because I know it's going to be taking place at the UFC Apex Arena. So I know that they do have some plans there, and I'm actually excited to see what that's going to be all about. But I do think Roxanne Perez is a great opponent for her, because this is going to be a great match. I do agree with you when it comes to her mic work. She's definitely still has a lot of improvement to do, which is why I think her being the champion is a good way to give her that promo time and to give her that opportunity, because you have to remember she is only 20 years old and she's got a very bright future. She's one of the best in the ring. And I think putting her against Jordynne Grace is going to be a great match. And this is something that nobody was expecting. And I love that in 2024, things are happening and the dirt sheets have no idea what's going on. Because both things that happened at NXT, man, nobody had the reports coming that they were going to WWE.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I might honestly check out Battleground on June 9th because the graphic for that match actually looks kind of fucking nuts.
Yeah, that graphic is sick.
Yeah, it looked kind of nuts. So
here, you want to show the graphic real quick? I'll put it on solo.
Let me see if it'll clear up because my light is kind of reflective. Yeah. But there we go.
No, they get the gifs of it.
Yeah, but it looks kind of sick, and I'm honestly looking super forward to that match because, again, I love Jordynne Grace. So I am very, very looking forward to seeing what her presentation looks like.
I've been such a huge fan of hers before she showed up at the Rumble, and
every time that siren go off, bro,
it's well deserved, and I'm so happy that they're giving her these opportunities, and it's also a great way to give TNA some exposure too, because she's got the championship. They're putting TNA over on commentary. I fucking love it.
Speaking of which, I wasn't sure if this was on the outline of the show or not, but weren't we going to fantasy book, or were we going to talk about people that we're probably going to see in TNA eventually? Because apparently there's going to be a partnership. So
for the We Are Wrestling Weekly news and rumors, we will be talking about that.
We will? Okay, cool.
We're going to talk all about that. But for this one here, for the recap, I figured we can put over Jordynne Grace and just talk about what we witnessed on Tuesday, which, man, I'm so excited for her, and for her to even get an opportunity on a PLE for NXT Battleground. I think that's huge.
Can we talk about how great Jordynne Grace's fucking promo and mic skills have gotten over the years? Like, she has really found her own. Like, she almost feels I feel like it's a little far of a stretch, but it almost feels almost like a godlike almost like a godlike atmosphere whenever she's around, almost like a Roman Reigns level, where it's like you feel like you're standing in the presence of greatness. So it's just like I don't know. She has this complex that is just very compelling,
and
her mic skills are phenomenal. And she has all right, there it is. She has Roman Reigns level confidence in I wouldn't say star power, but aura about her. She just has this
the presence feeling of her being there. You feel it.
Exactly. And her fucking pop she got at the Rumble, dude. My God, dude. The reception was fucking phenomenal. So I'm excited to see her actually debut at the PLE.
And you and I, we both advocate. We both pretty much, we always put over that we want wrestling as a whole to strive. And I think TNA getting this exposure is a great thing for wrestling as a whole, because there's going to be some people that don't know what's going on with TNA in 2024. So they see her with a knockout champion. They're going to say, let me go see what she's doing right now.
So let me just say this. A lot of people talk shit about companies, all the time. And usually it's to talk shit. The difference where I lie is when I talk shit, it's because I want them to succeed and do better. People just talk shit and want the company to fail. I don't want that. I don't want to see anybody lose a job, but I want them to improve and get better so nobody loses the job and it lasts 50 years like WWE has.
Well said. But moving on now to our next recap for this week at NXT. All Ego Ethan Page attacked Trick Williams. According to Fightful, Ethan Page signed with WWE last week and everything was secretive. What's your thoughts on Ethan Page coming to WWE? And now that you've actually got to watch some videos I sent over from his AEW run, how excited are you to see him in WWE?
Oh God, dude, that dude is a powerhouse, even on the fucking mic. That dude, I can't wait to see him lock up with Austin Theory one day. Like, I can't wait to see. That would be a perfect, even like mid-card feud for some kind of mid-card title, whether Austin goes back to NXT for a little bit, or once, Ethan Page gets called up to the main roster, to see, for an IC title, or I see more towards US for him. Maybe even tag team with the right partner. I don't know who yet. I'm gonna have to kind of get a little bit more acquainted with Ethan Page and what he does in WWE to kind of see like who he works really well with. Mike Skill's 10 out of 10, man. That dude's got a mouth and he knows how to use it.
Dude, he knows how to carry himself.
No,
that's
did he?
For sure.
No, did he? That sounded very wrong. His in-ring skills, that dude is like a wrecking machine, dude. Like, I was not expecting a dude with that kind of fucking ego, that kind of shit talking presence to pull off the shit he does in the ring. And he actually, like, one of those fucking those clips that I saw was him roundhouse the fuck out of Jericho, and dude, that was impressive. And the way that Jericho sold it was just it was like chef's kiss. So my excitement level is pretty high. I'm really interested to finally kind of sink my teeth into a new talent that I have. Like, he's not new, obviously, by any means, but a new talent that's actually legitimately on my radar to see how they do and see how well they resonate with the crowd, but also the main roster when they get there. Like, I'm very, very optimistic, and I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been able to find that wrestler I kind of sink my teeth into. The last wrestler that did that for me was probably MJF.
Man,
So I'm
I'll tell
excited.
you, Ethan Page, he's definitely got it, and he has always been the perfect, like, if WWE was creating a character, he would be the perfect character for WWE to create. And man,
He's
for
like a
him to
more
finally,
aggressive version of the Miz.
and like for him to finally get the opportunity, because obviously, like, even way before AEW and even Impact, I was watching Ethan Page in the independents, and you know how much of an advocate I am for indie wrestling. So to finally see him get this opportunity, and especially get himself in the best shape of his career too, because he was more of a bigger guy and he never really like took care of his fitness. And then when he went to TNA, he started to focus on that. And then in AEW really took it to the next level. I am really happy for him because when he signed with AEW, I really thought that big things were going to happen because I know the talent level he is. There's a reason why they call him All Ego Ethan Page. And they had something good going on with him and Scorpio, Men of the Air. They should have been tag champions, in my opinion. But then after that, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. And then, believe it or not, he didn't want to sit in catering. So he told Tony Khan, put me on Ring of Honor. And he took advantage of that time and established himself as a big star over there. And then he waited until that contract is up, and now he's in WWE. And man, as a big Ethan Page fan, I really wish him nothing but the absolute best. And I think that he's going to be NXT champion during this run. And I feel like on the main roster, I could definitely see him being a future Intercontinental champion or even a tag champ with the right person, because he's also been a really good tag team specialist throughout his career.
Well, I'm excited for him. Do you think that he's going to be able to keep the All Ego moniker?
Yep. That's been his trademark all the way back to the beginning of his career.
Really?
So
well, that's fucking awesome.
He's had control. He's had control over his entire career. So the fact that he's going to be coming in probably as All Ego, I'm very excited. And I loved with this one thing at the segment. I don't know if you caught it or not, but Vic Joseph basically said, wasn't he on AE? And then Booker T cut him off.
Like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. Because you don't ever see WWE reference AEW, even if they forget the W. That was pretty fucking cool. And I love that Triple H doing that.
The only person that ever got away with it was Sami Zayn. He's the only person that ever got away with it.
Pretty much.
And that's honestly the best person because they know that he's like, they know he's Sami Zayn. He brings in views. He puts asses in seats. So he can
during his,
the fuck he wants.
Yeah, but during his time, that was a little scary that he brought that up.
Especially since it was dude, he was like, oh, big gas.
Oh, you could ask me anything. You could even ask me about AEW. That's
Good
crazy.
guess.
But
Love me some Sammy.
moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling Weekly recap. During AEW Dynamite, they had a casino battle royal to determine Swerve's next #1 contender, and Will Ospreay won. So now at Forbidden Door, Swerve will face Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship. Do you think it's too soon for Will Ospreay to go for the world title?
Fuck yeah, it's too soon.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
He's so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you. What's up, We Are Wrestling? This is Ricky Knows Best. Shout out to the whole We Are Wrestling camp. Shout out to Donnie and Ben. Well, my thoughts on Will Ospreay getting the title shot? The GOAT strikes again. What more do you want me to say? What do y'all want me to say? But also at the same time, I think it's too soon. Like, well, I want this match to happen, and this is gonna be a match of the year candidate. Ospreay and Swerve, match of the year candidate already. Ospreay's already the international champion though, so I think he should elevate that title first and make it prestigious and build his stock up with that championship. Because I feel like him winning the AEW World Championship way too soon, I don't really think he's gonna win it this soon. But at the same time, they're gonna steal the show. This is gonna be a classic, so match of the year candidate already. Ospreay's got like 10 of them already. Ospreay's the GOAT for a reason. Nobody else compares to the man. And I ain't being biased, I'm just stating the obvious facts. But that's my opinion. I think Swerve retained, but it's gonna be a classic. They're stealing the show. And whoever thinks they're not stealing the show, y'all crazy. Like, y'all really crazy. But no, Ospreay and Swerve, that's a money match right there. All the way through. And I'm happy for Will Ospreay. That's the guy, the GOAT. Like I keep saying. Y'all not listening to me. But that's for another day. Peace out, We Are Wrestling. Shout out to the best one, Donnie and Uncle Ben. And the whole We Are Wrestling camp. Peace.
Homeboy just got there like last month. Hell yeah, it's too fucking soon.
Well, technically he signed in November. But still, I feel like it's
when did he start actually like wrestling for them? Fucking the end of March, April?
I think he made his debut in, I want to say February, I think.
Well, regardless, he hasn't been doing a lot of shit since then, other than dropping WWE bombs and like just wrestling killer matches. Other than that,
one WWE bomb.
Yeah, it was one that was completely uncalled for, that he had no fucking right in saying. You literally just got to AEW and you're already drinking the AEW Kool-Aid. Like, come on, man, be different.
Oh, come on, that was so like 2 months ago. Let's move forward.
Be different, regardless. Yeah, it was 2 months ago, but it still happened. Exactly, it happened 2 months ago, so it was way too early for him to be drinking that much Kool-Aid. But either or, it is too early, too soon. Swerve just basically started his ride. If they were to make him a stepping stone champion, it'd be, one, kind of low-key racist as hell. And two, it would just be bad for his fucking legacy, man. Like, give him some more time to cook. Let this championship grow with him. Let him grow with the championship, you know? And I think that that's what might end up happening at Forbidden Door, because again, Forbidden Door, 9 times out of 10, it's usually something Japan related. And you know, obviously, like a lot of these other superstars have made enemies in Japan. So potentially at Forbidden Door, we see a lot of debuts and a lot of feuds start to happen. Who's to think that fucking someone from his past, a ghost in his fucking past, screws him out of the opportunity of losing the championship and losing that fucking opportunity?
See, I feel like something like that's going to happen because...
And I hope it does, because it's too soon.
He's still, I think, been doing stuff with Don Callis because of the relationship that they had going back to New Japan, because I know he's still been commentary. He's been doing commentary for Will Ospreay matches. So I feel like this might be the time where the Don Callis family, they'll probably cost him the championship against Swerve, and then we move on from there. But here's the only thing that I'm confused about. I do think it is too soon. I do agree. But he literally just won the international championship against Roderick Strong at Double
And
or
you're
Nothing.
already gonna make him a fucking belt collector.
And here's the thing: I would understand if it was him versus Swerve at All In, because Wembley, the United Kingdom, that's his home. So like, if you want to get that hometown reaction for like a big like main event match, because obviously Swerve versus Ospreay, that's going to be a 5-star classic. If you watch their talent. But man, they should have waited. If they were going to do this, should have waited for All In. I feel like I think it's a little too soon for this to happen. I don't see Ospreay beating him. So I do think I'm very confused with the booking decision. I think that they should have just had another heel like a Jay White or somebody just fill in for now to go against Swerve at Forbidden Door. And then the winner of the Owen Hart Cup goes against him at All In, which I think should be Hangman Adam Page because of the rivalry that they have. But I just think it's weird that he won the international title and then they threw him into the world title picture. Even though he has had an undefeated streak, but still, give it time. Patience.
I think if anything, not only is this going to further the story with the Callis family and Will Ospreay, but I think this is also going to add to the credibility of the match that Swerve can put on with somebody with the accolades of Ospreay. So I think this is just for Swerve's title reign.
And I didn't think about it from that perspective either.
Yeah,
because
it's always going to think about.
Because if Swerve does beat somebody who's undefeated, that does add a lot more to his world title resume.
It's gonna give him credibility as a champion, whether it's heel or face.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about it from that side of it, I don't think it's that bad. It's not the worst decision, but I would have waited personally.
I think this is again, just kind of adding to Swerve's credibility. So,
and I like that a lot, and I think that's probably what the thinking process is.
Keeps them both safe,
Exactly. But up next, we have the comment of the week, and of course, the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast episode 110.
Hello, this is Eric Redbeard, and you're listening to We Are Wrestling podcast.
What is going on, guys? It's Ben here, the Lone Ranger, and you guys are watching We Are Wrestling podcast.
We're back. And we do want to remind all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that June 29th, Blitzkrieg Pro is coming back to the Pierogi Hall in Enfield, Connecticut. And it's going to be one of the biggest luau shows of the year. We Are Wrestling. We're going to be sponsoring the Bedlam Championship match between TJ Crawford versus CPA. Will CPA finally get his big moment? The only way to find out is by going to Enfield, Connecticut, June 29th, or you can watch it live on IWTV. I'll be watching it live while I'm on vacation because I won't be there, but Ben and I think the rest of the crew will be at the Luau show. So guys, if you have nothing going on, Saturday, June 29th, come out to Blitzkrieg Pro. It's going to be a great show. And we also do have Paul London. He's also going to be there. And Paul Walter Hauser. Got the name right. Got the name right. Stingray.
Oh my
Let's
God.
freaking go.
Let's go.
But Ben, take it away.
So every week on this podcast, we do the segment called the Comment of the Week. And this week's Comment of the Week is from Ramon Castro 4737. And the comment is, I didn't expect Ethan Page to be in WWE, but I'm also going to mention his other comment right down below because it's from the same homie. And he says, I wonder if Ethan Page and Shawn Spears will be a tag team in NXT. What are your thoughts on this comment?
That is that's interesting because Ethan Page, he is a tag team specialist. So like I could see him eventually being in a tag team with somebody else. I think not right away. If it's going to happen, definitely a year or two from now. But I will say this about Ethan Page's run. What was the first comment again?
The first one was, I didn't expect Ethan Page to be in WWE.
Okay, there it is. Yes, so I'm going to have to agree with him because I actually didn't expect him to be in WWE because he's one of those guys that doesn't need the platform like WWE or AEW to succeed. He's a very talented individual. Not only is he great in the ring with what he does in professional wrestling, but He also does have his own YouTube channel. He does Twitch streams. He has his own independent wrestling company as well. So, like, he has other ventures outside of here. So he doesn't really need WWE. So, like, in my mind, I thought now that he's not under contract with AEW, he's going to take that time and probably push his independent wrestling company a little bit. I thought that maybe, he would do some indie signings and conventions because obviously his new AEW figure comes out in June because he knows the market when it comes to that. Danhausen literally went on a whole fucking tour, book signing tour to sign his figures and shit. Thought Ethan Page would do the same thing because he does love toys. So, like, I didn't think that WWE would happen right away. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but not in this time and age, especially during this episode of NXT. I loved it, though, and I love when things happen unexpectedly. So to see him in WWE, I'm so happy for him.
Hell fucking yeah, man. I, again, just got real exposure to Ethan Page, after seeing him debut in NXT, seeing the high energy and just seeing, I'm really, really, really excited for what's next. And to, see what he can offer to the WWE table and to see where he goes, because my God, that man is talented. So very excited for Ethan Page.
So excited. But before we close off comment of the week, I do have an honorable comment of the week mention here. And of course, it is from our buddy Alex Johnson.
Alex Johnson.
And this was on the Dirty Dom and Liv reaction.
Wait.
And I had to pin this comment, and he said this. Ready, Ben? You ready for this?
God, wait, hold up. For the comment of the week, is this his first time?
I think so, actually.
I never thought in a million
Are you ready
years.
for this?
Wow.
I don't think you're ready for this.
What is it?
All right, so Alex Johnson said, at We Are Wrestling, it should have been me. I had to give an honorable mention there.
It should have been you, Alex. It should have been you.
If you want to close off the comment of the week segment, you go right ahead. I had to mention that.
Congratulations to Ramon Castro 4737 and Alex Johnson for the honorable and the inaugural comment of, well, not inaugural, but the comment of the week this week. And if you guys want to get your comment featured right here on the segment of comment of the week, all you got to do is leave a comment right down here on our YouTube or all of our social media videos, anywhere you can find them, and you might be the lucky winner of comment of the week.
That's right. So now, with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors.
Yeah.
Starting things off, Jake Hager is a free agent now. According to Body Slam Net, Jake Hager's AEW contract has expired and he did not re-sign. What's your thoughts on Jake Hager leaving AEW? And do you see a potential WWE return? Because he was in WWE as Jack Swagger for quite a while.
I know. Oh, I know he was. That was some of the most boring years of my life. I don't see him coming back to WWE immediately. If he does, I don't see real interest from WWE. I don't want to be a mistake, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I think that he could honestly do really well in the indies if he still wanted to stay in, like, the pro wrestling circuit. But I also know he did really well in MMA. So I think that if, he wanted to go back to that horizon again, honestly, I would prefer it, especially since, he's built for it. He's cut for it. But at the same time, he came back for a reason. He couldn't, unfortunately, do a lot. But if WWE could give him a second chance and have him get a mouthpiece and be built as a serious superstar, then honestly, I would welcome it, because I would believe in anybody's second chances minus Alberto Del Rio and maybe Sonny for killing somebody. But other than that, there's redemption for everybody. And I think that not Alberto Del Rio, Jesus fucking Christ, Jake Hager, who does have a chance in being redeemed.
And that's the thing, like, I feel like Jake Hager, I think that he still has a place in professional wrestling. I think the independent circuit is like what he should do, because I know when he was a free agent, he did a lot of stuff for Northeast Wrestling, which I know you and I are both very familiar with. And I think that wrestling conventions, stuff like that, he's going to be very successful because obviously he's a former AEW, WWE superstar. And he does have a pretty good accolades when it comes to wrestling, and he's well known. So, like, I think that he's going to have no problem wherever he goes. But honestly, I would love to see him go back into MMA because the dude was kicking ass in mixed martial arts. And, like, out of all, like, the former WWE superstars that have tried the UFC,
he's one of the best.
tried Bellator, Hager was one of those rare cases that he went out there and he fucking kicked ass and he won his fights.
Him, Lashley, Riddle, Lesnar.
Ken
Those
Shamrock.
are some guys. Shamrock, like there's a few that went out there. And honorable mention because he had the balls to do it, even if it failed, is
CM Punk. Yep,
yeah, he had the balls to fucking do it. So, you know,
but some people have tried.
Different.
CM Punk has tried. Other people have tried, and they couldn't make a career out of it. But Hager can. And I think that he could be somebody that could go to the UFC eventually if he really commits to it. But it is unfortunate that AEW, they didn't really have much for him. I think the reason why he joined in the first place was because Jericho wanted him there, because they always had this thing, I guess, in WWE where Jericho, he really wanted Hager to be like his bodyguard and like his manager, to like be pretty much like the muscles in like his little group. And they never really got the opportunity to do that. So, like in AEW, Jericho found the opportunity to do it with Inner Circle. And like after Inner Circle, Hager literally got lost in the shuffle because he was literally only there for Jericho. So, like, there was like nothing after that. But I really do wish Hager nothing but the best. I think that he's going to be successful, whatever he decides to do. He's had a successful run. Like throughout his career, AEW, it could have been a little better, but hey, it is what it is. Not everybody can have successful runs, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors, and this one I am very excited to talk about. There will be more WWE and TNA crossovers. According to PW Insider, Grace appearing on WWE NXT Battleground will not only be the WWE-TNA collaboration in the days ahead. What would you like to see happen with this working relationship? And pretty much fantasy booking. Now that the Forbidden Door is officially opened with WWE and TNA.
Honestly, like, I want to see some invasions. Like, I want to see some fucking WWE versus TNA, like, angles. Like, obviously nothing heinous, but, like, I want to see, like, you know, even Survivor Series. That would be nuts. Have some, like, TNA talent there, too. Have their own string of their all-stars go over to fucking Survivor Series. Would be sick as fuck. You know, obviously give me some marquee matches, you know, give me like, you know, world champions versus world champions, throw the tag team champions across the board, you know, like have some special appearances from like, you know, open challenges. Fuck, you know, eventually I could see fucking Gunther going over to TNA and doing like a quick fucking match against Moose. Like there's like a lot of good shit that could happen out of this working relationship, you know.
And let me
there's
just
so
tell
many
you, Ben,
bright ideas.
all the TNA and all the WWE superstars since NXT, they have been posting on Twitter, going back and forth with each other, fantasy booking.
Yeah,
it seems like they're
Moose
both
and Drew
very
McIntyre.
excited.
Moose and Drew McIntyre
posted that little picture of the TNA title.
Well, fucking Moose fucking shared the thing, said, "Hey, I see where your obsession with belts came from." He's like, "Here, why don't you talk to your boss? I'll have him talk to mine, but the outcome will still be the same." Moose tweeted that earlier today.
Also, the Rascals, because a lot of people forget too, Wes Lee, who's in NXT, was a part of the Rascals in TNA. I know Kofi Kingston and Xavier are talking shit to the system. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, who are the tag champs.
Dog, so what do you think? That's what makes it so great. There's so many possibilities.
Give us something. But here's what I got to say. I think realistically, with this working relationship, which obviously anything can happen, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going to happen is a lot of the misused guys that aren't main event stars, they're going to be the ones that are probably going to show up in TNA at times for marquee matches. And I feel like a lot of the TNA guys, we're not going to see them on Raw. We're not going to see them on SmackDown unless it's like Survivor Series related. I see them more doing stuff with NXT because that's where the hardcore wrestling fans are. So I could definitely see a lot of NXT and TNA collaborations.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they're starting there.
Definitely. And here's some of my fantasy bookings here. So Clash at the Castle is going to be in New England. And honestly, I would
New England.
Wait, where are they going to be? Scotland, right?
Yeah, that's in fucking Scott. That's in Glasgow, dude. New England is where we live.
Oh,
what
God.
the fuck, Donnie?
Botching it. I'm glad I have you to fix my mistakes.
New England. I'm like, what the fuck? Glasgow is like almost halfway around the world, bro.
So, like in Scotland, one of my fantasy bookings would be Joe Hendry. I would love to see him because that's his home as well as Drew's. So to see him like get a crazy reaction, I feel like that would be pretty awesome. Also, I would love to see AJ Styles do one final match in TNA.
Phenomenal. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because
no pun
it
intended.
seems like they're teasing the end of his run right now. Yeah. So I feel like having him go over to TNA for like Slammiversary or Bound for Glory would be pretty cool.
He would be an awesome open challenge for a big match at like their huge like pay-per-view, their WrestleMania level pay-per-view. Be like, oh, open challenge, and all of a sudden AJ Styles old school.
That's
TNA
what I'm saying, man. Slammiversary or Bound for Glory, AJ Styles, dude. They got to give him one final match in TNA.
Oh, in TNA, absolutely.
That's where he was built.
I think they're eventually gonna, especially since he got inducted into their Hall of Fame as well, right? And they let him like have like a video package for it.
I think so, yeah. I think
because he appeared in TNA back in like 2019 or something like that. And
he's done some cameo videos and stuff for like the anniversaries and stuff.
But to see him there would be fucking insane.
They have to do it. They have to, which I feel like they will. But another collaboration thing I could see as well, because obviously they're giving Jordan Grace the opportunities. I want more of the TNA guys that have stayed with the company through like the worst and to where they're at now. I want to see guys like Eddie Edwards, Moose, Frankie Kazarian, Ace Austin, Chris Bay. I want these guys that have been busting their asses for years to get the opportunity to do something WWE related, especially like Kazarian. He's been with TNA since day one and then did stuff with Ring of Honor, did stuff with AEW, went back to TNA. He's never done anything WWE. So like a guy like him who has been in the business for over 20 years to not do something WWE related, it's long overdue. Give him an NXT match or something.
Yeah.
I would be all for that. But I think, man, the fantasy bookings is endless. I'm very excited for both sides. It seems like everybody in TNA is excited. Everybody in WWE is excited. And it's going to be, I think, a great working relationship.
Fuck yeah.
But moving on now to our next We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. Arn Anderson will be leaving AEW. During his podcast, The Arn Show, with Conrad Thompson, he announced he'll be leaving AEW when his contract expires on May 31st, which by the time the podcast is out, he is a free agent. He also stated that he is grateful for Tony Khan and all of his kindness. What's your thoughts on Arn Anderson leaving AEW?
Seems to be a trend lately. It's honestly good because, I mean, Arn's getting up there in age, man. Like, I think I don't want to just keep saying the cliche thing that they're going to go back to WWE. It's like, honestly, man, I want to see some of these guys retire. Like, retire, and just spend their, their last senior years doing whatever the fuck they want to do, man. Like, catch some shows, hang out backstage, whatever, but give yourself some time with your family, maybe. Like maybe give yourself the rest of the time off, right into the sunset. There isn't really much for Arn to do other than just kind of keep doing what he's been doing. But it's like,
yeah, because I think he did producing.
How much longer?
I think he's been doing producing for AEW since Cody left. and like coaching some of their younger guys. I think that's what they've been doing. But with Arn Anderson, like I do think that a lot of people are talking about this, and why we have to discuss this is because Cody Rhodes last week we talked about who should manage Cody Rhodes, and a lot of people want Arn Anderson to come back as his mentor, as his coach. And I think that it is possible under Triple H. But honestly, like I kind of want Arn Anderson to get that WWE Legends deal and just make appearances here and there. I would love to see like a cameo with him and Cody. I think that would be really cool. And I feel like what Arn Anderson should be doing is continuing to do his podcast, because you know he does have a lot of people interested in hearing his like road stories and stuff, but also help his son out too, Brock Anderson, which I'm assuming he's doing, but spend more time helping him get prepared and to give him some opportunities if he's really committed to professional wrestling. But with Arn Anderson, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens, because years ago, like with Legends, like we wouldn't be talking about, oh, where do we see him going? Because a lot of the times they would just ride off in the sunset and just do what they're doing. But now, like AEW, they've given a lot of these legends a new life in this and showed that there's room to succeed as a manager in the business, especially like a lot of these legends. So with Arn Anderson, like I could see it, but at the same time, I think that he's going to be doing the wrestling conventions more. And I think that he's really just going to ride off in the sunset. Like I don't see him coming back anywhere full time.
Yeah, I don't see that either. And like I said, he's up there in age. So it's like at this point in time, it's like I'd rather see a lot of these guys finally just retire, you know?
Yeah, and I think that
there's more to life.
There's more to life than wrestling, but also too,
especially when you've given so many years to it, you know?
And also too, like I want to see some young guys become managers. Like I feel like that's missing today in wrestling. It really is, because like back in the day, like you had Paul Heyman, you had Paul Bearer,
well, I mean,
you had Brother Love.
You got to start hiring people out there that are looking strictly for that, because a lot of these young guys that they have don't want to do that. They want to be in the ring. So it's like you have to start really hiring like actors. You just start hiring not celebrities, but actors, you know, people that are very comfortable projecting, that are used for their voices and their body movements, rather than constantly getting in the ring or taking bumps or just some.
There's literally only two people that are like full grown managers right now. And the only two I could think of is Stokely Hathaway and Prince Nana. That's basically it. So like there's really a room for managers.
Yeah,
I'm surprised a lot of people aren't taking the opportunities to do that.
So I'm saying, bro.
Moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. Chad Gable is an upcoming free agent. According to Fightful, Gable's WWE contract is set to expire next week unless an extension or a new deal is reached. What's your thoughts on this news? Because it seems like the last month or two, WWE has been really like waiting right down to the wire when it comes to these contract renewals. And Gable, this is the last person I fucking thought was going to be fucking expiring.
This is one of those things that we're just going to have to wait and see, because I can see this being like a ploy where obviously the whole thing between Alpha Academy and Gable is really starting to like implode. I think he's going to be written off TV for a while, and then he's going to show back up, and he's going to go for the IC title and he's going to win it. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a slow build up, give him some time to really get into some killer fucking shape, spend some time with his family for a little bit, write him off, and then he's going to come back and then he's going to win the big one. So I think that's more so where it's at. I think it's going to be another Drew McIntyre thing where it's going to be like last minute as fuck.
Yeah, like I don't see him leaving, but
I don't either.
I'm just.
But I know you want him to. I know you.
Nah, there's only one reason. I'm just gonna say this. So, guys, we're in a group chat with Danny, our old co-host, and Danny, obviously, he loves to share all the articles, which I do got to give him a shout out because it does help me a lot with the podcast, with the topics that we do discuss during the show. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of want to see what the hell Gable could do outside of WWE. And there's only one reason. I feel like sooner or later, like, this is going to bite WWE in the ass. Like, they're going to they're going to wait until someone's contract is, like, up. And then, like, the wrong person, they're not going to sign. And then they're going to just end up going to AEW or going to TNA or doing something crazy. But, like, Gable, I feel like is, like, he's so much, like, worth more than what we've gotten. And I'm glad he's finally picking up momentum in WWE. So I wouldn't be against him going back. But I feel like if he goes to, like, somewhere like TNA or, like, NWA or, like, one of these smaller promotions, I could really see him as a world champion. And I think that that would really boost his ego more. And I feel like that would really add more stock to him so that when he comes back to WWE at some point, I could just see him being on a whole nother level, except this time having more confidence in what he's doing.
Excuse me.
Because he was given the opportunity. Because Christian, like back in 2005, his contract with WWE expired. And he wanted to go out and bet on himself. So he went to TNA Wrestling, became NWA champion, and had a great run. So that when he came back to WWE during, I think, 2008, he won the ECW champion. A few years later, won the World Heavyweight champion. And he had a great run because he had more confidence in himself. And in this business, you have to have that. And I feel like Gable, he has that at times, but then there's other times where he's just like, he's so close. And he's not there.
So all I'm going to say is I hope he stays, does not leave the company, takes a few months off, returns with Kurt Angle, and wins the fucking title. And he has a manager now because even Kurt Angle said that he would love to manage fucking Chad Gable. So I would love that. And honestly, that would be a great way to catapult a fucking actual heel run as a champion. Is having fucking Kurt Angle manage his ass, dude. Fuck.
Oh, that'd be great. And he's already got the "You Suck" chance, which is great. And he has a lot of momentum right now. So honestly, if I'm Gable, I probably would resign because I feel like he is going to get probably a huge bump in his raise. And I think that he has a lot of momentum right now. So like he knows that. And he doesn't really need time away from WWE. He has the momentum. I think he just has to sign that fucking dotted line and just come back. But obviously, the fan in me is just like, I want to see what the hell he can do outside of WWE. Let's fucking stir the pot a little bit. But if he stays, I'm honestly okay with him staying. But up next, we have our Getting Put Over segment. We're going to be putting over Mickie James, the first women wrestler we're finally putting over. And of course, the main event topic. Where will Becky Lynch end up going? We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 110.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We're back, and every week we do this thing called the Getting Put Over segment, where every week Ben and I, we pick a past, present, or future superstar, and we put them over. Last week, Ben got the opportunity to choose. Who did we put over last week?
Matt Riddle.
We put over the King of Bros, Matt Riddle. And this week it's my turn, and we are going to be putting over one of my all-time favorite women wrestlers, Mickie James. That's right, she's got a female statue. I love the statues. This is great. What better way to put somebody over than just giving them their own statue? I feel like us giving them a statue, Ben, is a lot more than what WWE gives their Hall of Famers.
Anyways.
God, I love the Getting Put Over.
Y'all. My God.
So here's where I want to begin with Mickie James. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers in the women's division. Probably my biggest crush as a kid. I fucking loved Mickie James. I've gotten the opportunity to meet her probably at least 5 or 6 times by now. I got to meet her back in...
No. Let's back this up. What what era of Mickey James did you find yourself attracted to her?
Crazy, psychotic Mickey James when she was obsessed with Trish Stratus. Yep. I was obsessed with her the moment she made her debut in WWE as a kid.
Disgusting buffoon. That is disgusting.
No, it's not.
Crazy. Yeah, out of pocket. I had to ask because I had a feeling.
I loved Mickey James.
He loves. Oh, okay. All right. So go ahead.
So I've gotten the opportunity to meet her like a lot of times. I got to meet her in Cape Cod as a kid back in like 2006. Me and my dad, like during the Melody Tent shows, we'd wait like out in the parking lot for the wrestlers to arrive. And she was one of the nice ones that actually ended up signing stuff and taking photos. And then, of course, with TNA Wrestling, they had the live events. So they got the opportunity to, you pretty much, if you went to a TNA show, you were able to meet all the wrestlers, which was so cool. And one of the shows, oh man, I think I've shared this story, but we're putting her over, so I might as well share this quick story. I was in the second row, and there was a kid in front of me, front row, and he had a sign, "Kiss me, Mickey." Mickey James comes out, and the kid right in front of me crushed my dreams. And he got a big smooch right on the lips by Mickey James. And I was devastated. I have told her this story when I met her at the WWE VIP experience back in 2017, and she got a kick out of it. She got a kick out of it. And then I just recently met her at the big event in New York, caught up with her, and she is one of the most down-to-earth wrestlers. If you ever do get the opportunity to meet her in your area, highly encourage it. She really goes way beyond for her fans. And I will say, she definitely made up for kissing that fan in front of me when I was a little ass kid.
That's fucking awesome.
It wasn't awesome what happened.
No, but it's awesome that it's got, it's got made up for, at least that's,
she's so
beef is
nice.
Squashed.
The beef is there's never beef. I always loved Mickey. She's just always been one of my
little
favorites.
part of you that was heartbroken all those years were finally mended.
Yes.
So there wasn't intentional beef, but there was some beef there.
My heart,
my little Donnie sized heart.
I need some love in the comments, guys. But not all seriousness too. Like with Mickey James, I always really enjoyed her in-ring work as well because I felt like she wasn't slow. She wasn't fast. She had the perfect pace in the ring. And that's something that I've always paid attention to. Like her movesets, I've always enjoyed. And I feel like every rivalry or every storyline that Mickey's in, she makes it interesting to you as a viewer to get you invested in it. Like I can't think of one bad storyline that Mickey James has had in WWE and TNA, wherever, because of how talented she is. She's great at storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Like that Psycho story, with her rivalry with Trish. That's actually one of my matches that I actually have, like best matches of all time from her for the WWE portion of things. Her match and her rivalry with Trish was just, not only was it long term, but like the stories and seeing the cracks and then seeing the slight obsessions and then the beyond obsessions when she made a whole fake ass women's title, then she started straight up just dressing like Trish and even dyed her fucking hair and did her hair the same way, won the women's title eventually. Like insane. Absolutely fucking insane.
And I think what made me invested in Mickey so much is how natural they were able to get her over. They put her in a long storyline angle with the most popular women's wrestler during the time, all time, Trish Stratus. And they were able to just put a rocket ship on Mickey and they created a new star out of her. And that was like one of my favorite matches too, is WrestleMania 22, when Mickey won her first women's world championship that she won against Trish Stratus. I thought it was great. Like the lines were perfectly drawn and man, they did a great job with that storyline.
Yeah, like it just the way she played that character was almost like too good though. Like, it was almost
Way
too good. Like
And then
it
you had
almost felt like it
Ashley.
was real.
And then you also
Yeah.
had Ashley in there, who was Trish's friend,
Rest
and then
her
you had
soul.
Mickey
Rest her
as
soul.
a heel, which, yeah, no, rest her soul. But
Rest her soul. That was one of my favorites of all
but
time.
that's the thing, Mickey. That's what made her such a good heel during that time, was she was jealous of the friendship between Ashley and Trish, so it made it even
I'm
more
very
interesting.
aware.
And then that's
yeah,
when the
that's what made me
rivalry
pissed
really
off
began
so
with Trish
bad.
and Mickey.
Yeah, that's before fucking Ashley got drafted over to SmackDown, where she ultimately ended up with London and Kendrick for a while because she was dating London for a little while.
Yeah, because that was I believe early 2006.
Yep.
And then she got
2006, it was
drafted
right
after
after
WrestleMania over to SmackDown.
Yep, it was during like the transition of the titles and during the New Year's Revolution storyline. So it was around that time, like I think like right before the draft. But yeah, dude, that entire storyline will stand out as one of like the greatest women's storylines of all time because it was like raw, gritty, uncomfortable, personal. It's just one of those things that's just etched into your wrestling memory.
And Trish Stratus, like, she ended her first
They
stint
both,
with WWE a few months after that too.
bro, I'm gonna just put out here and say that their chemistry was some of the best. Period. In ring, on screen, on the mic, they were completely in sync, and I think that just kind of resonates with how just entertaining the whole situation was. Good or bad. It got you thinking about it, and 20 years later, almost here we are talking about it. So it's exciting.
Hey, even during one of the Royal Rumbles, I think it was like the first or the second women's Royal Rumble, they had the stare down, Mickey and Trish, and it got a massive pop too. The fans loved it because that's the thing. During 2006, Trish Stratus and Lita, they both retired for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they needed new women superstars. And Mickie James was pretty much like the face of the women's division.
For a while.
The pioneer.
Her and Melina.
Especially during a really shitty time for women
her
wrestlers.
Her and Melina really stepped up once they, Eminem split up.
Because during
Trish
that
left.
time, WWE, they were trying to use women still as like sex symbols. And Mickie James,
not really superstars.
Exactly. And Mickie James, she eventually got sick of it. She left in 2010, went over to Impact Wrestling, and she did the whole Hardcore Country, which, man, I loved her run in TNA. It was fantastic.
Her pop at the Rumble under that gimmick as Impact's champion was great.
It was fantastic. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of her rivalries that she had. One of them that I liked a lot was like in her early TNA run with Madison Rayne. I thought her and Tara, their storyline with Mickey was really good.
Oh, that's my other match for fucking my TNA pick. That's her with Tara. That shit was a good insane, dog. And it was
then when Tara attacked her during the live concert, I liked that too.
All right. So instead of like listing our matches on like some of our favorite matches from them, I'm just gonna, since we're already talking about some of mine, I'm just gonna go out and say for Tara and Mickey, that match at Turning Point 2010 was incredible because it really stood as a statement of when two legends from the Elephant Company go to another company where they have a little bit more creative freedom, it's a little bit more gritty, a little bit more grounded. It shows that they are a different kind of animal under a different fucking suit. So it is incredible. It's so seeing, because it defines,
knew how to use the knockouts.
It defines WWE Mickey and Victoria versus fucking TNA's Mickie James and fucking Tara. So it's nuts. It just shows what kind of different animals they are in a different company. And I just, yeah.
Well, you do have to realize in 2009, 2010, like WWE, they were more focused on swimsuit contests. And Mickey and Tara, they both wanted to just be professional wrestlers. And TNA gave them that opportunity. And that was one of my favorite TNA matches too, was the Tara and Mickie James. Bro, that was great.
That's my biggest what ifs, because like, what, man, if WWE is what it was today back then for the women, in their primes, they would have torn down the fucking house, bro. They would have torn down the house, and that's my biggest what if. So honestly, I'm so glad we got to see that in the level of what it could be in TNA. And that's why I'm saying,
And I
dude,
think TNA, and I think a
TNA,
lot of people,
TNA.
and I think a lot of people too, like you also have to think about it. If it wasn't for TNA giving these women the opportunity to go out there and be professional wrestlers, I think we would have never gotten the women's revolution in WWE.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. That is facts.
So for
That is
Mickie James,
1,000% facts.
Gail Kim, Victoria, those women going out and betting on themselves, where they could have made really
They
good money in
changed the
WWE, wearing
scope.
bikinis, not even taking bumps. For them to sacrifice and actually want to go out there
Everything.
and be a fucking wrestler, you have to give them their flowers. Because if it wasn't for
and
them,
I always will.
women's revolution would have never happened. And that's why I love Mickie
Exactly.
James so
Because
fucking
of
much.
them, what we have in wrestling for the women today in WWE is incredible, and it is unstoppable. They are world champions now, not diva champions, and there is multiple belts among the women now. NXT is fucking insane for their
They got a
belts
North
for the women.
American championship now, a mid-card title, tag titles, women's money in the bank, steel cages, all
Royal
of this
Rumbles,
good shit.
Royal Rumbles, bro. Like,
Elimination chambers.
dog, my heart is so full for the women in wrestling now because of pioneers like Mickie James, bro, and Tara. So it's like, dude, man, that's why that match was so significant for me when I was watching it, because it felt like WrestleMania level shit, because it's like, this is the shit we should have gotten at WrestleManias for the women, not fucking diva searches, not fucking bikini contests, not fucking bra and panties matches. Yeah, not 6-minute matches. Give
Pillow
me fucking
fights, all
5-star.
that crap.
Give me 5-star women matches. That's it. Clean matches like we get with the men. Give me storytelling that is going to culminate, that we're getting now. And I feel like they got robbed of it, but I am glad that they were able to literally make a sound so fucking loud in another company that the company finally did the right fucking thing. And that is why they are pioneers.
Exactly. And
it's reasons like this why we put people like this over.
And then, of course, Mickie James, she did come back to WWE like around 2016, 2017, and she aligned herself with Alexa Bliss, which at the time, I think it helped Alexa, but it didn't help Mickie. And I think during that second run in WWE, they should have been using Mickie James's legacy to put over other women, but they weren't doing that.
This is what I'm going to say. Wrestling from 2015 to about 2018 was a very dark period. Nobody knew what the hell was going on in anything. The creative choices were bonkers. It was super PG era. Vince was going senile, like in the process of like getting fucking like wrestling dementia or some shit.
And no competition really either.
No competition. So it was just, ultimately, I thought WWE was going to fail and like eventually just finally demise because it was so bad. But 2019, just things changed like immediately. The women's revolution just happened in 2018, and you got that restart. The men's storylines, the stars that were finally being bred were starting to pop out and sprout and, you know, spread their fucking wings.
No, I think the women's revolution, that was the women's revolution was like 2014, I think. That's when it started.
2014.
And I think during the and that's one thing I want to say too real quick. Like during like the Blur era of WWE where things were shit, I'm going to be honest. I think if it wasn't for the women's revolution, WWE, they definitely would have been very close to sinking.
Yes, but what I mean is like the women's revolution culminated in 2018 when they finally got their Rumble. When they got their Rumble, everything changed.
Yes.
Yeah, it culminated. The end of the women's revolution culminated at the Rumble, because the moment they got a Royal Rumble of their own, they were officially on the same level as men. And that is unfortunate that it took until 2018 to be on the same level as men. Because if you think about it, the matches that we get at WrestleMania now for the women feel just like the men's matches, dog. We fucking
sometimes
popped off for the Becky and fucking Rhea matches. Dude, this last WrestleMania 40, we popped off at the Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch opener match of fucking night one.
So good.
And that was I almost cried. It was one of the greatest opening matches of Mania history. And that's regardless if it was a female match. That match was a powerhouse opener of any WrestleMania I've ever seen in my goddamn life of all time. And that, like, just the presentation on both ends, fucking Rhea's entrance, the crowd energy, how behind and over Rhea and Becky were, dude. Just the hard hitting of the match, the storytelling, the moment after. The women are so blessed now because of women like Mickie James, and to see her participate in the Royal Rumble, being acknowledged as the Impact Women's Champion, going out there and to be able to bask in
The
what
first
she
real
helped make
Forbidden Door
happen,
opportunity.
and to bask and to be living in the moment of what she made possible for the women was almost like a tear-jerking moment. So like, I am so glad. This is the reason why we put over individuals like this in this segment, is because of moments and movements that they've created, and what it's the opportunities that it's given the women to be just as high of a pedestal as the men, because their world championship matches feel like main event world championship matches, and it makes me so fucking happy.
And it's crazy because sometimes, like when it comes to like the women's Royal Rumble over the men's, I prefer the women's Royal Rumble. Sometimes the Money in the
It's
Banks, the
so
women's are better
fucking
than the
good.
men's. They really
Dog.
compete with them, and I love that.
Yes, dog. The women's Rumble, like other than like I think maybe this like past Rumble, the women's Rumbles have been like the highlight of the Royal Rumbles, dude. The energy, the surprises, the pops, the fucking spots, bro. The just the factor of being on the edge of your seat longer than the men's Rumble matches. The less predictability of the match is insane. Like, you don't
Dude, that
know
Liv
who's
Morgan
gonna win.
and dude, that freaking final two with Rhea
So,
and Liv was one of the greatest final twos like
nuts.
all time.
Bro, I'm gonna say this right now. The women's Rumbles feel 1,000% more authentic and unpredictable than the men's Rumbles.
Agree.
I'll say it. They feel way more. You have no idea who the fuck's gonna win or who the fuck's coming out in a women's Rumble. Men's, you can kind of predict it a lot more. So it's, if it wasn't for, again, make people like Mickie James, man, it would never be possible. We would never be feeling this kind of same adrenalizing feeling that we do for these men's matches, man. These women are fucking superstars because of people like Mickie James.
So now getting back into Mickie James, let's talk about some of her accolades, because we're putting over Mickie. I don't see all the other women on the statues. We have more weeks of this podcast that we could put over some of our favorite women wrestlers. But right now,
I already have another woman in mind.
Mickie James. So here are some of the accolades that she has had during her career. She is a 5-time WWE Women's World Champion. She's a 5-time TNA Knockouts Champion, a 1-time WWE Divas Champion. And she's also had a lot of accolades over in other independent wrestling companies as well.
And it's well deserved. Every single fucking one of them were well deserved, because she is I wouldn't argue with anybody or think it's silly at all to have her in someone's Mount Rushmore of like best women wrestlers of all time. Like, I would exactly, like, it's not a silly idea whatsoever. Like, it is a fact. Like, she deserves and has deserved every single accolade, and she has done every single gimmick of hers justice. Like, she is one of those people that will take an idea, run with it, and make greatness out of it. She just has it, man. Mickie James is a pioneer. She has the look, she has the mic skills, she has the in-ring, like, fucking almost luchador-esque moveset. Like, she is insane.
And one thing that I love about Mickie is in WWE and TNA, the presentation is two completely different things, which I love, because there's not a lot of people out there that can have two different personalities in two different companies. Like with TNA, she shows more of her countryside. In WWE, she shows more of that just glamour.
Girl next door side.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the right word, but
yeah, but
some of the matches I do want to share that I do have here listed that I really enjoyed, which my top 3 that I picked out of was Mickie James versus Lita at Survivor Series 2006. That was Lita's last match.
Such a good move. That was such a good match.
Such a good match.
I almost put that on there.
And then I also obviously have Mickie versus Trish at WrestleMania 22, because that's what really put Mickie
That was my
over.
other one for.
And then last but not least, I had to pick a TNA match, and man, her final run in Impact Wrestling before she has decided to hang up the boots. It's got to be TNA Hard to Kill 2022.
Oh, thank God.
Mickey James versus Deonna Purrazzo. I
thank
really
God.
enjoyed their Texas death match that they had, and the storyline was just fantastic.
Yes.
All right, and I think it really put Deonna over too.
It did, because I actually that was one of the matches I watched today, but I saw 2 more that stood out to me. So one of them was actually TNA, and it was in 2022, Bound for Glory, with her and Mia Yim. Mia Yim was insane in that match. And can we talk about Mickey selling in that fucking match? Mia Yim is already like one of the queens of selling in women's wrestling, period. And we know she's already another very big underutilized fucking superstar. But that is for another time when we put her over, because at some point we are gonna. That match was absolutely bonkers, and especially for it being one of Mickey's later matches. It's like that match really proved that it really doesn't matter not how your age, it doesn't matter how many matches you put on in your life. It really showed that she still has plenty of gas in the tank, and she still has a lot to give. So I'm excited for, when Mickey decides, she wants to step back in the ring, because I know she's on a little bit of a break right now, and she wants to kind of wind down from the company, because she's been a part of TNA for so long in wrestling in general. So she's taking some downtime, so I'm very excited and looking forward to if and when she does decide to head back in the ring. But the other match that was my honorable mention, just because holy fuck, was fucking Mickey James versus Asuka at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Oh my
that was
God.
Dude, those NXT TakeOver matches, especially the women matches, were on a whole nother level. Like, seriously.
Asuka was in her prime, dog, at the time. Like, Asuka was
nothing beats NXT Asuka, dude. She was like fucking Godzilla in NXT.
Dog, listen, Mickey James, Asuka, NXT TakeOver, and a Toronto crowd.
But that's the thing, like, especially during her final run with TNA, like, all the matches she had, like, realistically, were so good. And she's always been a true professional. She's always put over other people. And man, we're putting her over this week, and I'm so happy we were able to do this. And my final thing I want to say to Mickey James is, Mickey, you are one of the greatest women professional wrestlers out there, and you really opened the door for so many women to pursue professional wrestling, and you are one of the greatest of all time, and I'm so happy that you have had such a successful career. Easily a future WWE Hall of Famer, a future TNA Hall of Famer.
Guaranteed.
Great run. Great
Phenomenal.
run. Anything else you want to say before we close this off?
I think we covered it, but again, one of the greatest to ever fucking do it, period. Like, one of the greatest, and I am honored to have lived and witnessed live and through the years the prime of Mickey James. Like, I am glad I lived in the Mickey James era and I was there to witness it. And again, pioneer of female wrestling and the fucking one of the masterminds behind the women's revolution. 100%.
Absolutely. Through the worst, through the best, she's always been a true professional. And for that, we had to give her her own statue. So this week, we put over Mickey James. And next week, Ben, it will be your decision on who we put over. I don't know if you still want to put MJF over, if you have another superstar in mind. Ben, who are we putting over next week?
See, MJF's topic got me hyped as fuck earlier. So, like, I'm still leaning on MJF, but it's like, all right, tell you what. I'm going to keep my promise. I'm not going to just leave people hyped and be like, oh, he fucking changed it last minute. No, we're still going to put over MJF next week, but I already have my next pick. It's a female wrestler. So after we do yours next week, the following week for myself.
Hold on. Wait, real quick. Next week is your pick. So you're picking MJF. Yes. Then the week after will be my pick. And then the week after, the week after will be yours.
Yes. So that week, I already have who I have in mind, and I'm gonna.
Are you gonna
leak it
spoil
right
it,
now
or are you gonna
because
wait?
I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of it because
Of course
it
you are.
needs
Here, let
to
me
be
put you on the
done.
solo screen.
So in 3 weeks' time, your boys are gonna be putting over Mommy Rhea Ripley. Yes, Mommy Rhea Ripley. So in 3 weeks, we are putting over another female just fucking superstar, and I'm excited about it.
Fucking go! This is like one of my favorite segments on We Are Wrestling. I love getting put over.
I look so forward to getting put over every single week because I just love talking about superstars that have just like entertained the shit out of me every single year and have really gave me something to look forward to through good times, bad times, even if it was just something to kick off my fucking weekend or if it was just something to just close the fucking door and just escape into the world of wrestling. I owe it everything. So talking about people that really stood out as my heroes and my villains, it's always a good time. It's always a pleasurable time. So I look very forward to it.
So this week on the We Are Wrestling podcast, we put over Mickie James. So with that being said, let's get into the main event topic for the We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 110.
That is fucking wild.
So it's official. Becky Lynch is a free agent. Wade Keller at pwtorch.com reported that he's also heard from sources that she has not renewed her WWE contract. People she's told have said that she is not going to AEW imminently, but she will be taking a hiatus from WWE. Anything can happen in pro wrestling. Do you see Becky Lynch ever leaving WWE at some point?
No, I think she's going to be a WWE lifer just like Seth. I think that they are 100% secured, but she just had a baby like a couple years ago. You know, she's been back more so than she's really been home. I mean, yeah, they travel all together, but it's like you want some time off, you know, to give their child some good nourishment, some parent time, see the world in a different view other than, nonstop traveling, see other family, maybe take a vacation with their parents. Seth's still on the shelf for a while. So this is like a really good opportune time to get a few months off, maybe focus on, her book promoting, any other like film projects maybe she might want to do. Just kind of let her do something outside because she's a big name now, man. It's not like she hasn't been doing this for a couple of years. She's been doing this for over a decade in WWE alone.
Name.
Yeah,
Huge
she's been
name.
doing this in WWE alone for over a decade. So it's like Seth, she deserves time off too, and there's other stars being born as we speak. We're seeing a lot more of fucking Candice LeRae on our screen. We're seeing a lot more of fucking Indy Hartwell. We're starting to see a lot more of, a lot of these other stars that are starting to make cements in their name, and it's
Valkyria,
Lyra Valkyria. Exactly, and that's something that's not to be taken lightly. Spots are starting to be filled, and in order to build stars, you need to have them on your screens more, and you don't need the huge amount of star power to overshadow that and kind of crush their shine, but indirectly and not really, maliciously. It's a fact. Becky Lynch is a huge star and people would be focused on that. But if she is not there for a while, they'll be focused on the other storylines going on and you'll be able to put those other stars over. And then when she does come back, you can have her cross paths with those other stars being made. And in turn, excitement for Becky and more shine on the other star that is going against Becky. And everybody wins.
And that's the thing, like to establish new stars, you got to have them consistently on TV every week. And I feel like WWE, they do have already established stars, but now that we're bringing in some new faces from the WWE draft, we need to keep them on TV consistently. Like what they're doing with Valkyria has been fantastic. Now I want to see Kiana James. I want to see.
They learned from the John Cena syndrome.
I want to see them consistently. And that's the thing, like with Becky Lynch, I think that realistically, I don't see her going to AEW. I don't see her going anywhere. She's going to be with WWE for life. I think that timing is everything in pro wrestling, and Seth is on the sidelines. He's at home. Her contract just expired. So, like, she'd be stupid to go freaking re-sign with WWE or go to AEW. She should be at home with her family while Seth is like on the sidelines. And I think that honestly, she's just going to take a hiatus because she has been going nonstop. Like, she has really become a bigger name outside of pro wrestling with her book and all the ventures that she's doing. And I just think that she just needs the time to be home. And during her happy birthday post to Seth, literally the last words were, "I'm coming home," uppercase letters. And that just makes me so happy to see like her being at peace with that, because everybody does need to kind of step away sometimes and just reflect and just enjoy life. And I feel like, if there's a time to do it, it's right now. WWE doesn't really need Becky. She was getting very repetitive on TV anyways, so she could use the time off and just, be a great mother like she is, spend time with her daughter, and, spend time with Seth outside of the wrestling world.
I agree.
And honestly, like, I'm so glad that Becky is able to do that. And I think that we'll be seeing her back probably within like a year or two. I think that she's really going to take this time, but we're just going to have to wait and see, because anything can happen. And I will say this. Let's just say if Becky did show up in AEW, even though it's not going to happen, you and I both already agree on that. Do you think that that's going to be a huge game changer if that does happen?
Of course. It's Becky fucking Lynch.
But here's what I'm trying to say, Ben. Do you think that her being in AEW, will that change anything with the ratings? Will it change anything with the way people are watching?
Absolutely.
You think so?
I do. As a matter of fact, I know so.
Yeah, honestly, I could see it.
Becky is deservedly so
she's literally the Stone Cold of the women's division.
Yeah, anywhere she goes, it's a mess pop.
Main evented.
It's deserved.
The first women's main event. She won both championships. She's went on to just having a Hall of Fame career. And I think out of all 4 horsewomen, even though for me,
she's the greatest.
Even though for me, I love Sasha. I love Mercedes. But I'm going to put the headphones back on. Put them on. I'm going to put my ego to the side here. And I'm going to put my personal feelings aside and say Becky is obviously the greatest out of all 4 of them. She has the accolades.
Yeah.
She has done it all. And honestly,
she just has it.
If there's really there's really like only a handful of people that if they transition from WWE to AEW, it would make a huge difference, because you have to remember back in WCW, when they really took off, it was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, 2 of the biggest stars in WWF during that time, that really catapulted that company. And I think if there's really anybody that can catapult AEW, I'm going to say it. Becky Lynch, she's right at the top. And I think Seth Rollins.
But Seth would never leave.
Or John Cena. Those are the 3.
Yeah.
And you already know that's not happening. But yeah, I think a lot of people just have to realize she's just going to take the time, honestly. And I think that's what she needs to do.
There's more chance of Seth Rollins winning the AEW World Championship than John Cena ever making like a 2-second quick like accidental cameo behind of a fucking AEW camera. There's likeliness.
I think there's no chance in hell Becky goes to AEW.
No chance in hell. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close off this week's episode?
No, we got it all, man.
Episode.
Let's write it up. Yep.
Very stacked episode. But guys, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we covered this week. Hey, maybe you'll be the next comment of the week. But the only way you can do that is comment down below. Interact. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and follow and download this episode. And of course, the links are down in the description below. You can follow Ben and I over on our social medias and our personal YouTube pages. Ben will be posting new stuff pretty soon over on his channel. Great music reactions over there. I'm still doing my toy videos. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.